heb protest, fi ddim efo ni'r hawl I bodoli fel ydyn ni heddiw.
Supposed to be 5, but we're down to 4. Because there's in there. They're killing us on the street. They're killing us in our bedrooms. Your brother might be next. Your sister might be next. Your mother might be next. No one is safe. But when communities get together, that's when we know we always got each other's back. The power of the people
is greater than the people in power. Right, big round of applause, come on.
Oedd y protest yn emosiynol ac yn wers iawn, oherwydd dyn ni yma heddiw I gofio bywyd mwyn Shir. Mae wedi bod yn protest rili pwerus am hynny. Fi'n credu mae yna gymaint o enghreifftiau sy'n dangos bod problem hiliaeth yng Nghymru. Nid yn unig mae yna problem hiliaeth, ond dydy Cymru ddim wastad yn ceisio brwydro am tegwch yn y wlad yma am pobl ddion. Ond, dros y blynedd yn ymwedig efo achos George Floyd 2 flynedd yn ôl, mae'n dangos bod Consciousness Cymru yn dechrau ymateb. Fel person sydd wedi tyfu fyny mewn tŷ aml hil, mae gen I perspectif y dau byd. Mae gen i'r perspectif gwyn, dosbarth gweithiol, sydd yn gwynebu llawer o fel rhwystrau, ond dyn nhw ddim yn gwynebu hynny oherwydd ei hil. A wedyn mae gen i'r perspectif du a brown sydd yn gwynebu llawer o rhwystrau oherwydd ei hil. Fi'n credu bod gymaint o rhagfarn dal I bodoli, mae dynion du a brown yn cael ei gweld fel threat cyn unrhyw beth arall. A mae anghenion menywod du a brown yn cael ei anwybyddu yn ddyddiol. Sa'n mynd mewn gwlad ble mae gymaint ohonyn ni yn teimlo fel dyn nhw ddim yn gallu bod eu hunain, yn enwedig pobl duon.
This has been like a rough year. Cardiff and the surrounding areas have had like 3 people now who died after police contact. There's no cop watch or there's no institution that monitors the police, right, in Wales. And like, if we're going to do something, I think we have to do that.
O'n i'n rhan o BLM Cardiff falle blwyddyn. O'n I eisiau rhywbeth proactive yn lle reactionary, felly wnaethon ni creu'r pantherod fel nath Black Panthers yn America a'r British Black Panthers wneud. Maen nhw'n ysbrydoliaethau mawr I ni. So if we're planning on kind of going ahead with a monitoring group, so what would our goals actually be with that?
Well, I think our long-term goal will definitely be like police abolition. Like, people often think that like a reality with, you know, without the police is like insanity, like it'll be chaos and disorder and it'll be like the purge, when like in reality, like we can all support each other through like mental health and education and all these different like housing, like all these different things. If they were run sufficiently, we would have the support and we like crime wouldn't be a thing.
They'll say like gangs will run around and take over everything. Actually, the gangs are running around. The gangs are running around. And I don't mean gangs in Butetown or in Rangestad. I mean gangs of the 1%.
To me, how the police act is almost like a purge, or like the way that we just kind of discard people and throw them into prison is like very violent to me. The way that the way that we have so many unhoused people on the streets at the moment is violent to me. The way that we need food banks is violent.
Fi'n credu bydd cael gwared o'r heddlu yn rhoi siawns newydd i'n cymunedau o fewn Caerdydd I gwella cyfarthrebu a gwrando I anghenion y pobl dyn ni'n byw o gwmpas. Dyn ni eisiau byw mewn cymuned neu cymdeithas ble mae'r pobl yn helpu ei gilydd. A fi'n credu bod cael sefydliad fel yr heddlu yn neud pobl yn ein cymdeithas yn complacent, ble os mae rhywbeth yn digwydd o fewn ei cymuned, bod mae'r heddlu yn gallu sortio fe allan, neu fi'n mynd I galw'r heddlu oherwydd sa eisiau actually siarad i'r y pobl rwy'n byw o gwmpas.
For millions of people to die squalidly drowning the seas. For 20 years, we've been campaigning in the city against war. War on Iraq, war on Afghanistan, war on Yemen, war on Palestine, war on democracy, war on human rights, and war on refugees.
It's our fish, but they're migrants. And that's what we're talking about. The dehumanization of often brown and black lives. Because they're not born here. We have to stand up and say they're people.
They just stopped my weekly money. We're a family of 6 people living in £70 a week. I wouldn't change my country, swap my country for this kind of life if I have another choice.
Dylse pawb cael y siawns I byw bywyd cyfforddus a diogel. Felly, dyn ni'n sefyll yn erbyn pawb sydd yn atal pobl rhag gwneud hynny.
Why will you come here for this video?
So, there have been so many channel deaths recently, and what we face here in Britain, for example, police brutality, is a microcosm for what is happening on an international scale.
But do you think that maybe these immigrants come to UK will cause maybe some security problem or risk to native people here?
So I think that's kind of a propaganda line that the UK government has perpetuated. It's not our enemy aren't refugees who are desperate and in need of shelter and housing, food, etc. Our enemy are the people up above who don't feel like caring for the people in their own country. Hundreds of years of imperialism and violence perpetuated by this country has led our current Home Office to work merely from muscle memory when dishing out brutality and turning their backs on the most desperate of people. I wholeheartedly denounce the title of other that is placed upon people like you and I. The other we should be fearing are those passing the most barbaric bills and think that the blatant disregard for the victims will go unnoticed.
Fi'n credu mae yna pethau sy'n neud I ni'n wahanol, ond mae hwnna'n rhywbeth da. Ar arwyneb mae'r society'n fractured, ond dyn ni yn wirioneddol yn mwy tebyg na gwahanol.
Hopefully you all know the Welsh word for welcome. Croeso! So let's all say a massive croeso now to all refugees and asylum seekers. Croeso! 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 Thank you. Diolch yn fawr, my friend.
People dying in hotels because they're not getting the right food or medical attention. And so even when they come to this country, they are not safe.
Be ti 'di bod yn neud bore yma?
Literally just fel cael existential crisis. A ni'n dal yn meddwl am y llwynog ar y roof.
Ie, nes i ddweud rhywun am hynna bore yma.
Oh, god. Oedd e literally just fel yna, just edrych yn fi, just fel...
Ie. So, sy'n ma'n mynd efo'r pantherod ar y funud?
Mae hi'n mynd yn eitha dda, actually. Ar ôl y protest diwetha, mae bron fel 30 person wedi dewis ymuno efo'r pantherod, so mae hi'n edrych yn eitha promising.
Wyt ti'n meddwl, os fysa hyn gyd yn cael ei implementio a da ni fel cymdeithas eisiau just cefnogi pawb yn hytrach na fel polisio nhw, ti'n meddwl fysa bobl yn cymryd mantais ar hynna?
Fi'n credu ddylswn ni cymryd siawns ar pobl ein hunain a peidio underestimatio'r ffaith bod mae'r pobl yn ein cymunedau actually eisiau cadw'r pobl yn eu cymunedau nhw yn saff. A bydden nhw'n mwy debygol o dilyn rheolau maen nhw'n implementio eu hunain oherwydd pam bydden nhw ddim. Felly fi'n credu ddylswn ni dechrau decolonisio sut maen nhw'n meddwl am pobl yn ein cymunedau, yn enwedig cymunedau dosbarth gweithio, a dechrau deall y benefits o bod yn rhan o cymuned sy'n edrych ar ôl ei hunain.
Dwi'n eisiau bod yn fel that person, ond dwi'n meddwl sa rai bobl yn fel deitha chdi, wel, ond mae rhai bobl yn cael ei geni a maen nhw'n fel just y math o berson sy'n mynd i'n fel troseddu. Be sa ti'n deitha nhw? Fel, os mae bobl yn trio fel ffrifo chdi a dweud, ie, wel, mae o'n natur rei bobl.
Yn achos lot o bobl sy'n cael ei brandio efo'r teitl predisposed i troseddu, mae'n actual llawer o enghreifftiau yn eu bywydau nhw sy'n dangos ble allan ni fel cymdeithas yn anghywir a ble gallwn ni dod mewn i bywydau nhw a bod fel dyma'r cyfeiriad cywir i mynd neu dyma'r gwasanaeth sy'n actually gallu helpu nhw.
Doing? I do have cake in my bag, I forgot. I just have like half cake.
We're going to start the screening now. The film Ultraviolence, directed by Ken Farrow. It's about best in custody, resisting police violence, resisting state violence. We're really happy for everyone to be here.
Refuse to be treated, refuse to have his head x-rayed. Urinating all over the hospital floor.
What happens there over the next 15 or so minutes, the way he's on the floor, he's groaning, and he dies on camera.
He was left to die.
We're going to move on to this question and answer, sort of just panel discussion, I guess.
This is a film about resistance, not about victims.
We shouldn't have to turn to these people in suits to take care of us when we can take care of ourselves as communities.
It's clear there is pure discrimination within the justice system. Sarah White got killed in March. We have to wait for an inquest until July next year. That office has just been charged. So there you go. All right, this is priority, dying priority, and that all over what? Skin colour?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oedd heddiw'n rili ysbrydoliedig. Rwy'n eitha hyderus bod y pantherod yn mynd i denu aelodau ar ôl heno, a dwi'n credu byddwn ni'n gallu gwneud rhywfaint newid eitha fyffeithiol yn ein cymdeithas.
Kill the bill! Kill the bill! Kill the bill! The power of the people! People have the power!
Dyn ni yma heddiw i protestio'r Police Crime Sentence and Courts Bill sy'n wirioneddol gormesol oherwydd mynd i effeithio sut dyn ni'n mynd i protestio yn y dyfodol. Mae'r ffaith bod protestio nawr yn mynd i bod yn anghyfreithlon yn dangos bod y Llywodraeth ddim eisiau kind of showing o bod yn democratic. Maen nhw jyst moyn cael gwared yn ei ar y llydoedd, i bod yn docile, i just bod silent. A dyn ni ddim yn silent, dyn ni yma heddiw yn blwyddio yn dangos bod democratiaeth dal i fyw yn ein ysbryd a dal yn byw o fewn y cymuned yng Nghaerdydd.
We need to get out of this idea that we are all a bunch of criminals and we are inherently evil and without the government we'll run mad. That's not true. We are constantly sold this lie and the police bill continually perpetuates that lie.
We're making sure that our community knows their rights. So if they're ever in this situation where they're ever arrested, they know how to stand up to people who are oppressing us. And if they're ever in the police station, they know who to call, which solicitors have the best intentions, and who will keep them safe.
So you said it's from like the American Black Panthers. Okay.
There is a competing way of kind of living outside of that capitalist system. So they had breakfast clubs so they fed the community, they kept the police accountable, they had schools set up that taught them critical ideology outside of capitalist education.
Dwi'n cofio'n iawn fel protestiwr iaith nôl yn y 70au, yr pellter o'na rhyngthon ni ar heddlu a weles I hefyd defnyddio trais gan yr heddlu yn erbyn protestwyr heddychlon. Ond yn y blynyddoedd ers hynny, yn y cymunedau dwi wedi gweithio yn y gogledd, o'n i'n gweld yr pellter hwnnw'n lleihau a'r heddlu'n dod yn fwy o heddlu go iawn felly. Wedyn, un o'r pethau sy'n poeni fi'n fawr am beth sy'n digwydd rwan ydy yn bod ni'n troi'r cloc yn ôl, bod ni'n gwneud yr heddlu yn fwy o polis eto ynde. Gyda'r grymoedd cwbl afresymol a dinistriol yma.
A dyna pam ni wedi sefydlu y Pantherod, oherwydd dyn ni eisiau pobl yn y cymuned I diogelu'r cymuned. Gweithio'r Skeptics, dwi'n credu bod protestio yn gweithio, oherwydd heb protest, bydd ddim efo ni'r hawl I siarad Cymraeg efo gymaint o rhyddid sydd gyda ni nawr. Bydd ddim Ysbryd bydd ddim y Pantherod, bydd ddim Black Lives Matter, mudiad Black Lives Matter yn bodoli, a bydd llai o hawliau gyda ni yn gyffredinol. Felly mae protest yn gweithio, heb protest, bydd ddim efo ni'r hawl I bodoli fel ydyn ni heddiw.
Fi'n credu bod cymdeithas yn gallu newid, ond mae'n rhaid cael newid radical neu does dim pwynt. Dyw chwyldro ddim yn meddwl just trais, mae chwyldro yn meddwl addysg, chwyldroedig, mae chwyldro'n meddwl gwasanaethau chwyldroedig, a mae chwyldro'n meddwl dyn ni'n actually cydymdeimlo efo'n gilydd a ceisio cyfathrebu mwy efo'n gilydd o fewn ein cymunedau.